Hello, I'm Coercer, and we are going to watch the games of round 1 from ArtifactCup number 24. That's the latest edition of the Deserts of Kharak Artifact Cup. These first games of round 1 will be played between RavingLuhn and Mordek's Praetorian. So let's just load up a replay. The first game will be on Torin Crater. Now this map is not that good for railguns because of all of the side blockers in the middle of the map, but usually railguns are still pretty good at the sides and at both spawn points on this map. So it looks like this will be a Coalition versus Soban matchup, which I guess you could consider almost a mirror matchup, except for the obvious differences between the carriers and the railguns. Coalition railguns fire slower but have a bigger initial damage, and the Soban carrier is much weaker when its own weapons are put into play. Basically, it's good in the early game, maybe in the mid game, but late game the carrier is practically worthless. Let's just look at the production tab here. So up north we have Mordek's Praetorian as the Soban forces, and down south we have RavingLuhn as the Coalition. Looks like both players are mining diligently from their resource nodes, and RavingLuhn is already producing a support cruiser. So looks like he'll be expanding quite quickly, while the Mordek's Praetorian seems to be content just amassing his wealth. There we go. He's now producing some LAVs, probably to scout around, or maybe for some early harass. Meanwhile, the RavingLuhn is already moving his carrier, since his support cruiser can now take over the resourcing operation. Light assault vehicles are being researched for RavingLuhn, and Mordek's light attack vehicles are fanning out across the map. Now it certainly seems like RavingLuhn is at an advantage already, since he's going to begin mining from the second bulkhead, while Mordek's is just about to break it open, and he still doesn't have a support cruiser. But there's some good news. He is going to pick up this artifact. Hopefully it should get picked up any moment now, and if he gets that to his extraction zone, he can power up his ALMs a bit more. Seems to be a quite slow game, at least for starters, but there are now 4 LAVs on the field for RavingLuhn and only 2 for Mordek's. Now, since we are watching this from RavingLuhn's perspective, I at the moment can see what Mordek's is researching, only what he's building at the moment. This base runner should make it to the extraction zone. It shouldn't die to 3 or 4 LAVs, especially if he uses the disruptor somewhere in the path or on top of the LAVs, so they can shoot back. There you go. That will buy him at least some time to get into the zone, and Mordek's LAVs are coming to protect or defend the base runner. Unfortunately, his Mordax's LAVs are spread out, so he is going to lose this engagement, but he did get the artifact. Mordax is now producing some railguns, or his first railgun actually. So, oh no, there we go, 2 railguns, I was right. And those should be quite a boost to his defense. It seems that he is playing a bit more defensively, at least for the moment, especially with these armed logistics modules spaced out as they are. RavingLuhn has research power reserve 2, so he has some free power to switch around on his carrier, and he is building AAVs. Now, LAVs and AAVs are a pretty good combo if you're facing just a railgun heavy composition, which seems to be the case for the time being. The LAVs will live very long against the railguns and will probably take out a couple of them, but the railguns can take out the AAVs quite easily. So the ALM is of course powered up, though unfortunately he didn't put more power into the defensive logistics, which would help a bit more in this engagement. Now the railguns, of course, are having difficulties killing the LIVs, but oh, is that railgun gonna move it? He could move it and save it, but unfortunately it goes down. One LAV just manages to get away, or not, it gets sniped. There we go. But if you look at the unit's last tab, you'll see that Mordax is losing RUs in unit worth. Ooh, the railguns should not have moved there. As you can see right here, they're in a bit of a rut, and these 2 railguns can only engage the light assault vehicles. Now that smoke is actually saving the railguns if they just move towards the armed logistics modules. There's the support cruiser for Mordax, so he should get a boost to his resourcing quite soon. But these are just... this is quite painful for Mordax at the moment. If he would have pulled back his railguns and maybe put them up on this dune up here, they could at least take out the AAVs quickly, and the LAVs would be tied up by the armed logistics modules. But as it is right now, RavingLuhn is just producing a lot of AAVs that are just streaming across the map. And since Mordax keeps losing his forces in this basically melee fight, these AAVs are going to do a lot of damage. Now, as we've talked about before, Thorin Crater has a lot of these side blockers everywhere, so you need to be careful where you're moving your railguns, and they definitely should not be moving in close towards 5 AAVs. And the support cruiser is being focused down by RavingLuhn's AAVs, and it is now unfortunately lost. So that's quite a difference in the units lost now, and that was a blow to Mordax's resourcing operation. Quite a heavy blow, and he's losing the harvesters, since the AAVs can tank the logistics modules all day long, and if the railguns are that close to AAVs, well, the AAVs will kill them. That's just... there's no way the railguns can survive moving into close range. If Mordax would have just saved up his railguns and maybe positioned them over here, or tried to get some high ground on these dunes, could eventually snipe off these AVs. Now RavingLuhn is just pressing his advantage. He doesn't really need to expand at the moment since he's camping out in Mordax's main resource operation, which can still be called operation because apparently, oh no, that the salvager is going to go down. Yeah. So he's basically taken over the main resource point, and Mordax is producing just from one bulkhead. But these salvagers are just moving in like there's nothing going on. Well, this seems like a pretty clear advantage for RavingLuhn, if nothing else. I don't really see how Mordax can come back from such losses, especially since now RavingLuhn is producing railguns. Though what none of the players are doing right now is capturing artifacts. Since RavingLuhn is just moving all of his units across the map, apparently the rally point is somewhere over here. Mordax could have maybe snuck one or two artifacts across the map, but just waiting a bit and moving it across, or just moving it across, because these units pretty much just move to the rally point and would have probably gotten a couple of shots off. But wow, since that many railguns here, yeah, the base runner was probably toast. But at least RavingLuhn, since he is ahead, he could build 3 base runners, since he has 3 production slots, just capture the artifacts and be even more ahead. The LAVs are just cleaning up whatever is left of Mordax's forces, and this seems a pretty decisive victory for RavingLuhn, even though he has won yet. But I believe there is no way he can lose this game, especially since Mordax is going to lose his last salvagers, and the railguns are starting to hit his carrier. Well, let's just speed this up a bit. The AAVs over here are defending against the LAVs, but they need to plop down some more smoke to prevent the railguns from just firing on his carrier. Or maybe they could do, these AVs could do what RavingLuhn was doing earlier and just move into some railguns, maybe kill that one. But it is far too late now. The carrier can't possibly survive against that. And there we go. Well, that was a pretty relaxed game. I guess there was no early game harass or anything really hectic going on. But, well, victory is a victory, and we shall see what happens in game 2.